It's going to come into my jokes. I'm also a terrible driver, but that's going to lead up to my bullying conversation, so we'll talk about that in a minute. So guys, my nickname is Crash, and I want to tell you guys it's not because I don't know. I'm not like a party crasher, I'm just a terrible car driver. So we're going to talk about that. My very first freaking car accident that I've ever been on involved a fire truck and my truck. My truck lost. But the worst car accident that I've ever been on involved a school bus. I was not driving the school bus, so you guys could imagine how that went. I T-boned the school bus. I was going about 4 miles per hour while the bus was going about 45 miles per hour. I was very pissed off, did not notice that there was a giant yellow school bus in front of me. And I went to pull out of an apartment complex. Next thing I know, my airbag's deployed. I need to let you guys know that I was a balloon twister at the time that my airbags deployed. So I was wondering why the fuck my car was throwing balloons at me. That's not what it was doing. So anyways, that's one of my worst accidents in the history of the world, and my favorite memory in the entire world is also when people were like, why did you hit a school bus? You know, it was choice. It really wasn't, you know, accidental or anything, right? Everybody desires to hit a yellow school bus. So I pull out, hit this bus, call my husband at the time. I'm not married anymore, I'm sure you guys can guess why. And he goes, you hit a school bus? And I'm like, no, I really fucking hit a school bus. And he just laughed. He's like, yeah, call me when something serious happens. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure me hitting a school bus and totaling my $30,000 car is serious. But I don't know what your priorities are. So, you know, that happens. That leads to a lot of jokes. It kind of hurts in my adult life because a lot of people make fun of me for hitting a school bus. My favorite memories are when I'm driving with my friends and they ask me why I have them sign a waiver before getting in my car. It's really hard to explain, you know, because I hit a school bus once. And you never live that shit down. You never live it down. I was at a rave recently with friends. I know that's hard to believe because I'm obviously awkward. And I'm at a rave just like getting my party on, and a school bus happened to drive down the road, and my friend was like, Sarah, I know you're not driving, but please don't hit it. And it was really depressing. But let's talk about the, you know, why I hit a school bus. Clearly, it was intentional based on everybody except for my, you know, my persona. Everybody else thinks it was intentional. I promise you guys it really was accidental. I don't have anything against elementary children, okay? High schoolers, on the other hand, I have a lot of shit against. Let's talk about bullying. Anybody been bullied before? Gentlemen speaking to the other gentlemen in the audience, have you been bullied before? Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Okay.
I was the bully.
So what's the worst thing that ever happened to you via bullying?
Wedgies!
You probably deserved it. No offense, Joey. So, you guys, okay, everybody's been a victim of bullying, yeah? Don't lie. Don't freaking lie. You have a tiger on your shirt. I know you've been a victim of bullying. Okay? Alright, nice. Gentlemen? Yeah, don't. Really? Sure, why not?
Well, I'm sure I have.
Well, there you go. That's all I'm asking. Okay, guys. Anybody else parents? Yeah, there you go. Okay, how old are your guys' kids?
15 and 9.
Okay. All right. Any of you guys, you youngins?
One's name is Billy Bob, the other one's name is Jim John, and the other one's name is Lucifadia.
Okay. So I gotta tell you guys, I was bullied a lot. I was bullied a lot in elementary school, mostly because I hated people. I was bullied a lot in middle school because people hated me. And I was bullied a lot in high school because my mother organized a bullying association against me. But we're not going to talk about that right now. What we're going to talk about is nothing in life has prepared me for the most terrible bully I've ever experienced in my life. That is my 8-year-old son. All right, guys, my 8-year-old son, you know, he's a great kid. Don't get me wrong, he's just a little bit of an asshole. And recently I told him, I'm like, hey, you know what mommy's gonna do? Mommy's gonna go to the gym. Mommy feels like she should lose some weight. And Aiden's like, why? And I'm like, because I feel fat. And my son was like, Mom, you're not fat. You don't have to go to the gym. And right when I'm starting to feel good about myself, guys, starting to feel really good about myself, he goes, I think you're just pregnant. I'm like, okay, fuck you, kid. I'm getting a new one on Craigslist. I'm going on the black market. Nobody believes that I will sell my child, but I will for a kidney. But yeah, he's an asshole. Anybody else have kids that just like pick on them a lot? You try to be a good parent, right? And then they just make you feel like shit about yourself. Like for instance, I'm a cusser. Obviously, you guys can tell that, I hope. And my son got in trouble for cussing at school recently. And I'm that parent that's like, well, I'm not going to stop cussing. Your dad's not going to stop cussing. All of my friends aren't going to stop cussing, so let's teach you how to cuss appropriately. So I have this method of cussing in public. One of them is called Cracker Jacks. I say that a lot when I want to say, oh shit, or fuck you, or a lot of other things. I also say son of a biscuit when I feel like saying son of a bitch. So I'm like, I'm going to teach my kid how to, cuss appropriately, so he doesn't offend teachers. Even though teachers are the biggest fucking cussers I've ever met in my life. And Aiden goes, I'm like, Aiden, hey, how do we say son of a bitch? He goes, son of a biscuit, Mom. I'm like, yeah, you got it. I was like, how do you say shit? He said, Cracker Jacks. I'm like, you're a good kid. And then he looks at me and he goes, Mom, plain as day. He's like, what if I want to say motherfucker? And I'm like, we're not there yet. Let's do basic cussing and we'll move on, okay? So, this kid, he's great. But I have to tell you guys, remember the school bus story I told about 2.5 minutes ago? My son was in that accident with me. He really was. His freaking car seat lurched forward. They're not as safe as people say they are. And he jammed a finger. That's what he remembers. He was only 3 when it happened. And the other day I was driving him to school, being a good parent, trying to take my kid to school and have a bonding moment. And we roll up to a stop sign, and the next thing I know, a school bus is driving across where the stop sign is, and I'm rolling up to the stop sign. I'm stopping, guys. I'm stopping. I'm not trying to hit it. And my kid goes, oh God, Mom, don't hit it. And that is how I know that my child is going to be my biggest critic, my biggest bully, and probably the reason for my suicide sometime in the near future. You guys have a good night.